Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sisters of the Strange. I'm Landry.
And I'm Shay.
And this week, I'm going to be talking about ghosts who came back to tell you who murdered them.
Woohoo. I'm interested to hear about this.
Yeah,
How
there's
this
quite
works.
a few actual cases out there. Like when I was doing the research, a few names showed up that I was like, wait, what? Like there's one that I'd heard for certain before.
Yeah.
Which I'm not even doing that one. But there was other ones where I was like, I didn't think there'd be this many.
Interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that either. I was thinking the other night about some of the things that I'm always like, oh, I'm going to mention that on the podcast. And then I forget because I'm always like, what do we have to talk about today? And then I'm like, I don't remember. There was something, but I don't know what it was.
That's how I normally have to go into my episode, how I've started writing it out. I normally have to go into the beginning of it and write my note at the very
I'd be
top.
like, oh yeah, I need to talk about this. Well, I was thinking about it the other night because there was something that I remembered that I forgot to tell about the Alito story that we covered.
Oh, yes.
There is a person that I know, and this person used to live in the house that the father lived in with his second wife. And when they moved out, the person that I know that moved into this home had received a letter from the kid from jail.
Writing to his dad?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was like, whoa.
I didn't
That's
know that.
wild.
Yeah, that's
they were
crazy.
like, yeah, super crazy. I was like, I was like, explain that to me again. How did this come about? And they were like, well, I lived in this house. They used to live in this house, and then they moved away and didn't let them know that they changed their address.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How
I can't give a
odd.
whole lot of details, obviously.
But how odd.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
I was like, wow, that's crazy.
That's spooky. The other crazy thing that I noticed or read this morning is that there's 75 bodies that have been pulled out of a reservoir in Houston since 2020 or 2021.
Yeah.
So now
I'm
they're
still
trying
waiting.
to decide if there's a serial killer or not.
I'm still waiting for that to develop. Yes.
Yeah.
That's been developing for a while.
I just now read something about it this morning because I guess they recovered another body recently and it showed up on my Facebook.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That was, someone had commented on one of our things and I was like, yeah, there's probably so many serial killers out there right now. We just don't know. It was when they said that in the, during the California serial killer era, the media was all over it, but wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't putting it out as much because they don't want to cause mass panic, basically. And I was like, I wonder how much they do that now. How much they hide from us now, mass panic wise, or how much people get away with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People get away with a lot of stuff.
Well, are you ready?
I'm ready.
So our first guy is Mr. Frederick George James Fisher.
Okay.
So Fred Fisher.
Yeah.
That's
love
what
it.
we're going with Fred Fisher here.
I love it.
He was born August 28th of 1792. Don't you love that?
Here we go again.
Here we go. By his early 20s, he was a shopkeeper, unmarried, but thought to be the father of 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
So that's good. At least he has that going for him.
That's awesome. He was just walking down the sidewalk one day and they don't know if it was deliberate or not, but he was found with forged banknotes, whether it was from his business or whatever. They don't really know, but he was tried at the jail on July 26th of 1815 and he was sentenced to 14 years.
Okay.
But back in that day, it's kind of similar really to how it is now. If you're just a model prisoner, you're not doing a lot of shit, you're not causing a lot of problems, you aren't in there for murder and things like that, you get out fairly early. So he got out after 7 years. I think he spent 7 years there because by 1822, he was applying for a ticket of leave is what they called it. And he wanted permission to purchase property.
While he was in jail.
Yes.
Okay.
So he got approved to just get right on out of there and go purchase property.
Hell
so
yeah.
that's what he did.
Okay.
So he
Go
purchased,
off.
yeah, slay. If it's that easy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So he got out and he bought some properties. One of them just happened to be a farm in Campbelltown, which I thought was in Australia. But then it said Wales. Is Wales in Australia? Look, the amount of comments we get about us being geographically challenged is like a ton. And clearly we have problems.
Yeah, don't ask me.
We don't know anything.
I don't think so.
What?
I don't think Wales is in Australia.
I don't know. The most I know about it is that there was like people from Wales on Love Island, Australia. So maybe.
Here's the thing. We literally have every answer at our fingertips. And sometimes we're just too lazy to even do that. So I'm
Pretty
just going to. No, Wales is in England.
Okay.
Campbelltown, New South Wales, Australia.
Ah, there it is right there.
A city in Greater Western Sydney.
There it is. That's it.
So New South Wales is in Australia.
Okay. But original Wales
Is in England.
It's like England and New England. New England is here.
Yeah.
England is there.
Okay. So we're in Aussie.
Mystery solved.
Oi, mate.
Do we even need to go on? Do we
No.
even need to continue?
Nope.
No further investigation. So, Mr. Fred bought some land and a farm in Campbelltown, New South Wales, Australia. Thank you, Shay.
You're welcome.
His neighbor was a man named William George Worrell. It's Worrall. It's like the
Worrell?
word rural. Very difficult to say, in my opinion. Worrell?
Worrell. Worrell.
Worrell.
Worrell.
I bet they say it really, really nicely in an Australian accent, like super cool.
Yeah.
Mr. William was known to be an honest and industrious man. And in 1825, Fred Fisher and the local carpenter, William Broker, had an argument over money whereby Fisher had pulled a knife on him. Oh, so whenever Fisher had to go to jail for this, because you do receive a light prison sentence for pulling a knife on somebody, he was worried about his property and he gave the power of attorney to George Worrell, which was his neighbor, the one who shared property next to him, the industrious man.
Okay.
So Fisher served his sentence.
Oh, for the knife.
For the knife. Short prison sentence. Nothing crazy. I don't know how long, but nothing crazy. Got out. Went back home. And shortly after getting back home, he disappears. And his neighbor is like, oh, yeah, he sailed for England. He was concerned about forgery and there was something else that was potentially coming against him. So he just like left. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Just like let him go. And
likely story, mate.
yeah. And then 3 weeks later, old George over here sold Fisher's horse, his personal belongings, and claimed that Fred had told him to sell all of it before he set sail. He was like, yeah, dude, you're totally good. Sell my stuff. I don't need it. Why would I need the money for my things?
Yeah, bye.
Bye. I'm just going to... Who needs money? That's fine. You do it.
Take it all.
So several local townspeople became suspicious, and on September 17th, 1826, George was arrested on suspicion of murdering Fred.
Correct.
Even though his body hadn't been found.
Sure.
They're like, this is some weird...
Yeah, sus.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
Go them.
Yeah, this is these are the types of like times where you don't mind your own business, you know?
So he claimed, he was like, I didn't murder Fred, but like 4 other men did it and I know about it, but like I didn't do it.
But I knew he was dead.
Yeah. But even though I told you he sold and I sold all of his things, but like I knew he was dead because 4 other people did it, but like it wasn't me,
Fair.
So
I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. So later on, in October of 1826, a wealthy and respectable Campbelltown farmer named John Farley was out. And there's stories that he was riding his horse. There's stories he was just like walking, but he was walking. It was late at night. Don't know why he was walking late at night, but he sees this man standing on a bridge, pointing a finger down into like the creek below the bridge.
Oh.
And as he's getting closer, he's like, that's Fred Fisher. But he's dead, but that's Fred Fisher.
Uh-huh.
And he looks to where he's pointing and he goes to the cops after that. And he's like, okay, I have reason to believe that Fred Fisher's body is down here.
Uh-huh.
Because Fred Fisher himself pointed down there.
Yeah. And the cops are probably like, how are you involved?
Yeah. And what
how
did you do?
know?
What did you do?
How do you know that?
And there's also another story that like the day later that these boys randomly saw a trail of blood. It's been a minute since he died, so I don't know why you'd randomly just now in the same exact spot leading to the same place. But so a local constable went looking, no avail, didn't find anything, called a tracker in from Liverpool, was like, hey, I need your help. And the tracker said, white fellow's fat here, which basically meant that his remains were found lying in a shallow grave. And it's technically on George Worrell's land.
Oh, gotcha.
So George did sit for trial on February 2nd of 1827, and he was found guilty, and he was sentenced to death by hanging on February 5th.
Damn, that was fast.
On the scaffold, so when he's standing up there with the rope around his neck, he said that he killed Fisher by mistake, thinking that he was a horse in the wheat crop. However, nobody believed that.
Copy that.
And basically it was thought that he assumed once he was Fred Fisher's like agent, he was appointed and all of these things, that he was like, oh, if I kill him, I can just have all of it.
Right. Of course.
And that's pretty much it. But now there's like, they host festivals every like November or something like that, where they have like the Fisher festivals. Like they like still, they like turn it into a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Fred Fisher's ghost did not end with solving his own murder.
Yeah.
There are rumors that where his house was or his land once was, a family moved into the same area. I watched a video and it looks like it was probably recorded in the 1980s, 1990s.
Okay.
Old. And it was a mom, a daughter, and a husband. And the mom, her name was like Maureen, and then the daughter was probably like 4 at the time when they moved into this house. And the mom said one day they mainly had everything downstairs. There was one room upstairs, but she like didn't go up there a whole lot. But she said one day she was standing at the bottom of the stairs and could just tell that a man was standing at the top of the stairs, but she didn't look up because it made her so like feel so uneasy. Mm-hmm. But she could just like tell, and like the back of her neck, like her hairs were standing up and everything like that. So she was like, I never really used the stairs again. I never really went upstairs. Didn't need to, didn't want to.
Amen, girl.
But her daughter wasn't deterred by this at all and was like, okay, like made the upstairs like her area to hang out and play and have fun. And one night her husband heard her daughter up there just like screaming and running around. And so her husband went up there like, what the hell? Grabbed her, brought her back down. And she was like, no, I want to play with Uncle Fred. There was no Uncle Freds in their family.
Uncle Fred.
The mom even said that like she couldn't properly say the word aunt and uncle still. Like she was still so young. That's why I said probably like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And, but she was like, no, I want to play with Uncle Fred. So like Uncle Fred was her friend. So she was up there running around playing tag with Uncle Fred.
Aww.
He wasn't like being mean to her or anything.
Scary.
Yeah.
Aw, Fred.
And then there's reports of a man who continued to write like newspaper articles about the ghost of Fred Fisher, because it's like a huge thing there is the ghost of Fred Fisher. It's like a town legend that they still like live by.
Okay.
And he would write articles. And he said one time he was, in his office writing an article and he heard someone like talking and he was like, oh, someone's messing with me. Like I'm going to go outside and jump scare somebody and then they're going to jump scare me back and LOL, ha ha ha. And he said that whenever he went to like surprise somebody else to like get on them first, basically, that before he could even get to the door, the pigeons took off. Like they were on like a roof and the pigeons took off. And he was like, okay, so there was something else there. And he like believes that it was Fred.
Aw.
So there's a lot of like rumors about that, or there's a new restaurant. I don't know if it's still standing, but there's a restaurant called like Fred Fisher's or Fisher's Grill or something like that.
Okay.
And like the fireplaces and stuff will turn on before staff even gets there. Like little things that shouldn't be happening, but they just think it's Fred.
Fred's the friendly ghost.
Yeah. So Fred solved his own murder and then has just kind of stayed hanging out.
Dude, what a guy.
Isn't that crazy?
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Like,
wouldn't you think like he'd solve it and then be like,
he'd go to the
other side,
to the beyond.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Maybe he likes it more on this side.
Yeah.
Maybe he likes to hang out with these people more. I don't know.
Sure.
If it's anything like the movie Eternity, which I have not seen, I've only seen the previews. Have you seen the previews for that? With Miles Teller and I think his name's Callum and the oldest Olsen sister?
No. Oh, is this the newest one?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's like I haven't watched it yet, but the premise of it is her first husband died and she only got like a year with him and he died. And then she's lived this much longer with her second husband and he died and she died. And once you get up to heaven, you have to decide who you want to, and she can't pick both.
Yeah.
She can only pick like one or the other. And like one of them, he can either pick like her or he can pick like going to hang out, like go be with his parents. Like you have to pick where you want to be. You don't get to like
For
overlap.
eternity. Yeah.
So maybe Fred feels that. Maybe
Aw.
Fred's like, I don't want to go.
I don't want to go. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Isn't that?
I did not know that that was the premise of that movie, actually.
Yeah, they, I don't know if they pass away together or if he passes away and then she does, but like,
It's probably good.
yeah, I almost watched it and then I was like, I think I'll get really sad. So
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't feel like crying. But yeah, I think the idea of that's interesting for sure. Having to pick between your spouse or your family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be down here too. I'd be down here roaming the streets.
Yeah. See you guys.
I don't want to pick.
Want to see you.
Yeah, I don't want to pick that. I couldn't pick.
No.
No, not
That's
at all.
an impossible choice.
Yeah.
Because we're all family.
I just love everybody.
In the club, we all fam.
We all fam. Shut up. You're not allowed to talk.
Okay, I thought we.
that was funny. Oh, goodness. Okay. Our next one is the Greenbrier ghost. So she's pretty popular. And her name was Elva Zona. Some people say Hester. Some people say Heaster Shue.
Pretty name.
I like the name. Yeah. The Heaster or Hester, it's Heaster. So some people say Heaster, like Easter with an
Easter.
H. So she was known as Zona. I don't know if I already said that, but she just went by Zona. She didn't go by Elva or all the other names she's got. And she was born around 1873. There's some rumors that say 1876. Some consensuses, like the death records, say 1873. So do with that what you will in old history. I don't know how they even have records still of anything
That's
like
what
that.
I'm saying.
But she was born in the tight-knit Appalachian region of Greenbrier County in West Virginia.
Okay.
So we are back in West Virginia. Yeah. I didn't even mean to do it.
West Virginia. Mountain Mama.
Okay, so one of the airports that I flew into, I didn't fly in there. Aunt Karen flew in there and we went to get her from there. And gosh, it has some of the words of that song like etched into the glass. And I can't remember what it was, but we were there for basically Aunt Karen's like person. It was for his funeral and it was like one of my best friends. It was her dad. So it was already like a really sad thing being there. And then those doors said something about like country roads take me home. It said something like really like sad. And then like an army plane like flew over and that was the thing like Brittany and him always bonded over like the army and stuff. So we're sitting at the airport like bawling our eyes out just seeing all of these signs and it was like, but it was just out of the song. Yeah. But it was still like beautiful. It was a really weird moment.
Interesting.
Anyways, yeah, if you've never been to West Virginia, it was beautiful.
I've always heard that.
It reminded me so much of being in Scotland. Like it was very, very pretty. Just like the windy roads, the topography. It was really pretty.
Oh,
yeah.
Need to go.
Just to like experience, just drive through. Like nothing crazy, but it was really pretty. Is that where our girl trip is going to be, to the Appalachian Mountains?
Shoot. I don't know. Maybe.
I remember when we were driving through Georgia, we were like, what is this?
Yeah.
What are we driving through right now?
Yeah, where are we?
There's nothing. So anyway, she is the only child of Mary Jane Heaster. And Mary Jane was known to be very religious and had strong convictions and was known in the community for that and for having such a close bond with her daughter. They were very close together. And Zona herself was described as gentle, quiet, and somewhat sheltered due to how her mom was. So whenever they got the chance, they would go to like other local counties and cities and they would sell like eggs and things you do back then to survive. And so Zona, whenever she got old enough, was allowed to go do these things on her own. And she got the name of like, it was something Rose. It was like Sweet Rose or something like that. She got like Sweet Rose of Greenbrier County or something, because the second she got some freedom, she went and was like sweet on some men. She was excited to get out and
on
have
the town
that and not be sheltered.
Go,
Even
girl.
though her mom did teach her the right things to do as a lady, she went and did what she wanted to do. And it's said that she did end up getting pregnant with a man who really couldn't like provide for a family. And so her mom was like really not happy, and they weren't married.
Yeah.
But her mom was like double not happy now. And it's said that her mom like really did her best to hide this pregnancy. Like it's not reported in all the stories of this. There's some that report it and some that don't. And so her mom, I guess, hid it pretty well. But unfortunately, like Zona had the baby and the baby passed away before she could even give him a name.
Mm-hmm.
So it was able to be hidden very well at that rate. So that was all, I think, probably before Zona was even like 23 years old. So that was like 18, 19, somewhere in that range.
Sure.
So with all of this, her mom probably was very unhappy with her during this time. And then she's grieving losing a baby. That's hard.
Yeah.
And so I would imagine that her and her mom's relationship probably is not going great right now. And at this point in time, it is 1896 and a man arrives into town and his name is Erasmus Stribling Trout Shue.
Wow. That's a name.
It is a name.
Say it again.
Erasmus Stribling Trout Shue. So there's some things that say like Trout was actually just a nickname, but then there's other things where it's literally written out like it's his whole name. So don't know.
I don't know.
But he was born in 1861 or around 1861 in Virginia. And he was said to be like the 5th out of 9 kids. But he was said to be like the one that was like doted upon, treated really well because he was very good at blacksmithing. Like he was probably like one of the better kids of his family. So he was doted on by his family. So he was very like spoiled and everything like that. But he comes to town looking for work as a blacksmith. And for reference here, you know when you're in school and the new cute boy comes into class and you're like, oh, the new kid. And it's like a fight on who's going to get to talk to him. Mm-hmm. I'm imagining that's what this is like.
Okay.
Because this town that they lived in was like a day away from a train station. So like the odds that they have a bunch of new people coming in and out of town and it's a small town, like seeing a new kid, we're all in, right? Yeah. And so I'm thinking that's probably how him and Zona were like she was probably kind of thought he was cute, but it's also said that she thought he was egotistical and like too big for his britches, kind of. But that's still, I think that's still a thing that girls like. So anyways, they of course fall hard and fast for one another. And Zona's mother claimed that she saw something dark and unsettling within him. So she was not happy that her daughter was getting into this guy and with this guy. But by October 20th of 1986, they got married. So they got married, I think, like literally within like a month or two of knowing each other. Slay. Very quickly. They knew each other very little and they got married. And so once they got married, clearly they moved. I think they still lived like close enough to where you could go see, but her mom was so mad at her that they didn't see each other anymore. They were like, no. Like her mom never went to her house and maybe saw her in town, but like they were mad at each other. So no plans there on being friends with one another. And on the first few days of January 1987, her name is Miss Shue at this point, but Zona fell ill. And for several weeks, she was under the care of Dr. Knapp. He was like the local doctor. And he reported that her husband, Edward, seemed very attentive to her needs, was very concerned that she didn't feel good, like wanted to know what was wrong, all of these things. It was probably a mixture of like sadness from leaving your family and then starting new, you know, like she probably just didn't feel very good.
Yeah.
You know? But on the early morning of January 22nd, Edward appeared at the cabin of someone who was known as Aunt Martha Jones. Like she was known as Aunt, like A-U-N-T. Mm-hmm. And he had asked her if her son would be able to go check on his wife and help her with chores and things like that. He didn't want her out like getting the eggs and doing all of these things when it was cold outside and she wasn't feeling well. And so he had gone and asked Martha's son, Andy, to help out. She was like, yeah, but he's out on like tasks already for other neighbors right now, but he'll go by.
Yeah.
And at 11 a.m., Edward went back over to her house and was like, hey, has Andy gone and checked on her yet? Like, go check on her and go help her. He did it 2 more times before Andy got back home at like 1 p.m. And he was like, I've been doing other like chores for other neighbors. Like, I'll go chill out. But he went there 4 times. Like, why not go check on your wife on your own?
Yourself. What?
If you can leave work 4 times,
get your ass over there.
Now, Andy finally has time to go over there. And he said when he was like walking up to the house, he like felt like this is not a house I want to be at. Like it just like felt dark. And it felt like the hairs on the back of his neck were standing up. Like he felt like he was being watched. He's like, I don't like being here. But nonetheless, He knocked on the door, got no answer, started kind of calling her name, like Miss Zona or Miss Shue. Hello, like I'm here. No response. And so he was like, well, he said she's been sick. I'm going to go check on her. Like, I'm going to go inside and check on her. And he said that he saw blood on the floor too. So he was like, I really need to go in and make sure she's okay. And so he went inside, and then he said that there was like a trail that led to the dining room. But the dining room back then, they had like doors between the dining room and the kitchen. So he had to like bust in that door. And when he busted in the door, he fell over something and landed directly on top of her dead body. And he said her dead body was like holding her stomach, arm outstretched, and had like a weird smirk on her face with her eyes wide open, like she was like smirking, or it was a really weird painted picture. But I've also heard the story that she was at the bottom of the stairs. So which variation we go with, we don't know. But he saw a dead body. He's a child. So he is screaming. I think I read that he was only like 11 years old.
Oh, baby.
By the way, at this. He's screaming, running, going home. Like, mother, dead body. Miss Shue's dead. Ah. So he tells his mom, and then he goes and he tells Edward at the blacksmith shop. Apparently Edward is like distraught, screams, runs home.
Fake ass
ho. By the yes. And by the time that Dr. Knapp, local doctor, gets there, Edward has carried Zona's body up the stairs, changed her into her finest Sunday dress. And the Sunday dress also had a stiff neck collar, and he had kind of put like a scarf on it, embellishing it because it was her favorite dress and her favorite scarf. And that's how she would have wanted to have been buried.
Okay.
And what's crazy about this is like back in that time period, most of the time it would have been like the mom and like other local women would have been who came and bathed her and put makeup on and like dressed her. And he took it upon himself before the doctor even got there. So the doctor gets there and is like trying to do his like postmortem, like investigation, like.
But she's all like dressed.
How did she die? But she's already dressed. And apparently Mr. Edward is like holding her head and like wailing and crying and asking her to come back to life. And then like holding her feet. Like he's just like moving all over her body and just in the way completely the whole time that this doctor's trying to do anything, to where he finally is like, okay, she has, what did he call it? The everlasting faint, which basically was like a heart attack. Pretty much back in that time.
Sure.
And so what's also weird is it said, if you look this up, it said that she passed away from this, but it also says that Dr. Knapp also said she passed away from complications with like childbirth. But we don't know if she was pregnant or not. Yeah. That might have been what her earlier appointments with him were. But we don't know.
Okay.
But also like, if she just met him like in October, by January, I don't really know how it works when you pass away, like with a baby in you. But I would assume complication of childbirth would be like 9 months later, not like 3.
Yeah. Sure.
So do with that what you will.
Maybe they were just trying to figure out like what the blood was from. Like,
well, there's another thing where later on, as we go through this, during court, someone is like, okay, but like if she died from everlasting faint, where did the blood come from?
Right.
So there is a question on the blood later on.
First question.
Yeah, there's
that doesn't add up.
Yeah, I'm like, we come back to it a little bit. Okay. But there is some questions on that as well. So then the next day or the next morning, because I guess the body stayed in the bed for the rest of the night. I don't know how that works, I guess. She was accompanied, Miss Zona was accompanied by her husband and several neighbors, and she was taken over to her mom's home. So he had bought just like a plain wooden casket, and he had put her in the casket, and it said that he had put like a pillow or something on one side of her head and like rolled up some sort of cloth on the other side of her head, basically trying to keep her head straight.
Up. Yeah.
Yeah. And like up instead of letting it like fall to the side. Very strange. But he was doing some weirdness with that. Like her head was wrapped up weird.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, like in history, normally everyone would come and visit and stay the night and like oversee the body throughout the night and things like that. But it said as soon as he got to that house, like to her mother's house, because that's where she was going to be buried, that's where the funeral was going to be, he did not leave her head of the casket. he stayed at the head of her casket, and anytime someone got close, he would like slap their hand away. Like he was like, don't touch my wife. Like very, which is crazy after only knowing someone for 3 months.
Yeah.
He was being extremely like protective of her body in the casket and didn't leave the side of it, and like was just being very odd and like grieving very oddly. Like people were like, I guess grief hits everyone different, you know? So they were like, is this weird or not? But like, seems kind of weird.
Seems weird.
Seems a little weird to me. And he does that all night. So then they go and they hold the like burial at the family cemetery plot or whatever. And her mom is like, I would like to take this sheet. Is it needed? And he's like, oh no, it's not needed anymore. The one that was like wrapped up under her neck. And she's like, I just want to have something of my daughter. And this is what I would like to take. And so she takes it. And when she's going back up to like her own home, she takes a smell of it, like to see if her daughter, like one last smell of her daughter. And it smelled really weird. And so she was like, I need to go clean it, I guess since it's been near dead body. And while she was boiling it, and it was supposed to be like a dark colored thing. So she like boiled it to clean it. And it was dark red. The water was dark red. And then she would empty it out and boil it again. And it would get lighter and lighter and lighter until it was clear water. So they didn't know if that was blood or some sort of like, of just how the coloring of the material was. She didn't know what it was, but it freaked her out.
Yeah.
And like I had mentioned, she did not like him.
Yeah,
she had a weird feeling about him. And so she was praying like every night, like, Zona, come tell me what's wrong. I need answers. Something happened. And so one night after praying, she woke up in the night, or she actually claims she was already awake. But a lot of people think she woke up, but she said she was awake throughout this whole thing during court to make it seem less crazy. So she said that she was awake and she was laying in bed and her husband's snoring beside her, and she could hear like the wooden floorboards creaking around her bed. And she was like, what the heck? And she looked up and like could see her daughter, but like in her wooden coffin, but could see her daughter looking at her. And she went to reach out for her and her daughter disappeared. And so the next night she prayed again, like, come give
back.
me more answers. And so over 4 nights, her daughter did come visit her and told her the events of what happened. So her daughter Zona ultimately told her mom that she did not make meat for dinner because they could not afford meat for dinner. So she had made like jam and bread and butter or something. And he flew into a fit of rage and grabbed her temples and twisted her neck until it was broken. He was a blacksmith. He was strong. He was said to be very strong. And it said that she connected like the vertebrae right under her skull to her neck is what she said. Something along those lines.
Okay.
But her mom wasn't fully understanding. So for Zona to explain to her mother, she not only turned her head in a 360-degree circle, very like exorcist style, but then she bent her head back at such an unnatural way that you should not do if your head is connected to your spine.
Yeah.
And her mother was like, okay, I need further proof than this. Like, I can't just say that your neck is broken. Like, I need proof. And she's like, if you go to my house, there will be blood on this one particular door. Mind you, Zona's mom has never been there.
Yeah.
So whenever Zona's mom tells somebody the next day, and her mom, her brother-in-law is like an attorney or something like that. So she was able to like kind of pull him into the mix. And they go look at that house. There is blood on that door, which she'd never been there. So she should not even know what the layout of the house looks like.
Right.
And there was blood there, and they exhumed Zona's body. And Dr. Knapp is the one who had all the weird
experience,
everlasting faint and whatever and all that. He was there. It said that they called Andy back there, the 11-year-old boy. It was said that they called a lot of the people back who had originally seen the crime scene to like stand over this as well, which I think is horrifying for an 11-year-old boy.
Right. Leave the boy out.
Yeah, he didn't need to be there. But basically, it said it was 3 days. I don't know why an autopsy would take 3 days, but it said it took 3 days, and they eventually did find her neck had bruising that were in the shape of hands, and her vertebrae was broken.
Oh.
So her neck had been broken, which is why he had done all the weird stuff to
with
her
her
neck.
head. Yeah.
And apparently, whenever this all was going on, he was very calm. Like while they were going, because Edward was there too during this process of the autopsy. For whatever reason, all these people were allowed to be at the autopsy.
Open autopsy, everybody. BYOB.
Yeah, come on in. And so he was there, and apparently he was like whittling the whole time, like whatever. And they said the further they got up her body, the like worse his whittling got and the more anxiety you could tell was in him. And when they got up to the neck and that happened, he had said like, you can't prove it was me or something like that. Or like, they can't prove it was me. Like he said something completely outlandish where they were like, oh, okay, cool. And he was arrested on site.
Period.
Yes. So then he ended up going, he ended up having like a whole trial. Like he had to go to prison and wait at the jail. And then he went to a whole trial and clearly was found guilty. So he ended up in Moundsville Penitentiary, which is a very haunted place that a bunch of people have told us to look into. Like I think someone even commented it the other day and said, I've been to Trans-Allegheny and I've been to Moundsville, and Trans-Allegheny was scarier than Moundsville.
Ooh.
So he ended up, he ended up in Moundsville. And while he was in Moundsville, he told somebody that his life goal was to marry 7 women.
Okay.
So the fun part of all of this is that Zona was not his first wife.
Ooh.
Zona was his 3rd wife. So it's said that his first wife, whenever the priest got there to marry them at his family's land, the priest was like, oh, this is odd. Because Edward was not there. Miss Allie, she was there. But she seemed to be like 16 years of age.
Okay.
And at that point in time, he was 7 years older.
Okay.
Than her. So early 20s. And the priest was like, I don't know about this. And he sat with Allie all day. She sat like mournfully, like didn't seem excited about her wedding day.
Yeah.
He was gone getting the marriage certificate until he got back at midnight. And when he got there, he had gotten the wrong county's marriage certificate.
Bro.
So he made the priest and Allie walk a mile down the road in the dark at midnight to get to the right county so they could get married.
Oh my Lord.
So they get there, they walk, get this distance. And the priest is like, yeah, this is no. The marriage certificate says she's 22 and there ain't no damn way she's 22. Like, I ain't marrying y'all. I'm not doing it. And he left. He was like, I'm not doing this. And he walked away. Still didn't stop him. He did end up marrying Allie. He had a daughter with Allie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think her name was Gertie or Gertrude, something along those lines. And Allie did eventually say like, he was extremely abusive. He always wanted us to leave. He always wanted to kick us out.
Yeah.
Eventually we did leave. But he had gone to prison for stealing his neighbor's horse. And so when he went to prison for stealing the horse is when she filed divorce and left.
Yeah.
So she got her out.
Yeah.
So she got to survive.
Correct.
His second wife, I think her name was Lucy. I don't know how long they were married. But he was married to Lucy. And one day there was a snowstorm and the roof was leaking. So while he went to fix the roof, one of the bricks from the chimney fell off and hit her in the head and she died.
Oh, yes, yes. Very, very common way to die.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So she died of mysterious circumstances.
Okay.
And that is when he comes to town and meets Zona, who also dies of
mysterious circumstances.
Uh-huh. So if Zona's mom had not had Zona come back to her and tell her, this man killed me.
Yeah.
Would he have killed 4 more women?
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
This guy's a psycho.
He ended up dying in Moundsville of probably like tuberculosis. It said a disease that was running rampant at that time. And I'm like, all of those places got hit with tuberculosis. So that would be my best guess. But
wow.
That is the story of Zona Heaster Shue.
Interesting. So tell me about the blood.
Oh, yes. The blood. If he broke her neck, there wouldn't have been blood. And so that's where came into the accounts of like, was the little boy just traumatized that he saw a dead body and like imagined blood and stuff like that? Or did he amp up the story? Like, where is the story? And even the story from Zona, or where she came and told her mom, like there was blood on the door.
Yeah.
But that could have been from another time that he abused her.
Sure.
Because there's also some rumors that like both her and Allie, his first wife, after they got married, when they would go into town, they'd have bruises. Like he was abusing them like immediately, basically. Yeah. And so maybe there was blood from a different time, but that's where it's like, if her neck was just snapped.
Yeah. Not necessarily there would be blood unless it was like,
because there was no open, well, it said there was no open wounds. The autopsy revealed like no open wounds on her body, stuff like that. And so that is where it came back. Like where would the blood have, was it actually a thing or not? And I've also heard that like one of the stories, she wasn't in the dining room. She was at the bottom of the stairs and you would open the front door to the bottom of the stairs and her body would just be there.
Yeah.
Like he had tried to make it look like she fell down the stairs.
Yeah. Which would have made more sense.
Yeah. So there's varying reports on, was it the child problem, or, I mean, ultimately it was her neck.
Yeah.
And so it would make more sense for him to be like, oh, she fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
But
as his cover up. Yeah.
yeah, but he probably should have just left her there but it did say there was bruising still on her neck. When they like exhumed her body, it said there was still bruising on her neck.
That's wild.
From where he had. So.
Wow.
Stairs don't bruise in the shape of fingerprints.
Correct.
Usually. So.
No, they don't.
But yeah, there's the reports of like, did it get amped up? You know.
Yeah, it could have. Yeah.
Was Mary, Zona's mom, was she just so powerful in the city, in the town, that she was able to sway people to believe that he did these things? And so like his brother came to town and was like, he's innocent of everything.
Boy,
he didn't
where
kill
you
his
been? You weren't even here.
Well, they were like, he didn't kill the last wife either, like innocent of everything he's done.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, but they even said like the day that he took him, he over and over again was like very confident that he was not going to be blamed or guilty for this.
Yeah.
Like it said whenever he was in court, and they used her mother. So they used Mary. They didn't want her to talk about the ghost part of it because they were like, that's going to make you sound freaking crazy.
Correct.
And, but then his lawyer was like, we're going to use the ghost thing. That's going to make her look crazy. We're going to call her onto trial, like onto stand, and we're going to make her say that stuff.
Yeah.
It only helped her though.
Right.
Like, because the way she described things, and then how it gave her, like how Zona gave her evidence of like where the blood was and all of that the jury was like eating it up.
Mm-hmm. And
it was said that Edward saw the jury eating it up and was like, oh shit,
we got to shut this down.
Yeah. But like he the whole time was like, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like even the morning the cops came to get him, like he made breakfast for the cops, and the cops like sat down and ate breakfast with him and were like totally like jovial. And
yeah.
But he was a good looking guy. And he was a blacksmith. So he had to be like shape.
Yeah.
It was said that he was like tall and shape. I saw pictures of him. His face is like, he looked attractive.
Yeah.
So like you get that, it's like the charisma.
Yeah.
You get that. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. He didn't do anything.
Definitely.
He's fine.
He couldn't have done that.
Yeah. He's fine. Why would he do that? Why would you kill your wife?
Yeah. Because the husband's always the number one suspect.
Yeah. I'm like, question mark of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there was the did he do it? Did he not?
I think he did for sure.
Well, also, if you found your wife at the bottom of the stairs with a broken ass neck and bruises on her neck.
And if you were that sad to act the way that you did, but you didn't.
I would have been like, who the hell killed my wife?
Correct.
I'm leaving her here for the cops to come and look at this.
Exactly. But instead, he killed her that morning and then went to Mary's house. Was that her name?
No. Aunt Martha or something.
Went to Aunt Martha's house.
It was something like that. Yeah.
And
Martha.
Andy. And was like, you better get over there. You better get over there. You better get over there. However many times. When you could have just gone over there yourself. But he already knew she was dead because he killed her.
Yeah, he did it.
And he wanted somebody else.
He did it the night before after dinner.
So he wanted somebody else to find her.
Yeah.
Because he's been at work all day.
Just so happens he could get everywhere by foot very quickly.
Oh my God.
But yeah.
What a wienerhead.
So old Zona solved her own murder. She was like, and scene.
Crazy.
Better believe. If anything happens to me, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Listen for me.
You better be coming back to me.
I will.
So I ain't letting none of that shit slide.
I'll scrawl it on the wall. You're not going to be terrified. You're going to be like, it's Landry.
It's Landry. She's here.
It's here. Ghosty.
Love to see it.
What is it? It's the out of the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody when Esteban's like, Ghosty.
The Halloween episode.
Are you here? Yeah, it's like the best. I watched it the other day and I was like, damn, this is still scary. It's still creepy.
That was
scared
a scary
the
episode.
hell out of me as a kid, and it's still to this day. I'm like, oh my God.
A scary episode.
Yeah. It's good though. Prime cinematography.
Amen. Amen.
But yeah, that is the story of Zona and Edward and lovely Mary Jane. Her name was Mary Jane, her mom.
Oh, mom was Mary Jane.
Mom was Mary Jane.
Yeah. And Frederick Fisher.
Frederick Fisher. So R.I.P. to Zona and Miss Allie, they're all passed away anyways, but they are. I mean, we're living in the 1800s here. What?
Eh?
I have written right here 1986. I think I said 1986 somewhere where it definitely should have been 1896.
Oh,
I said 1986.
I
It should
don't-
have been 1896.
I don't think you ever actually said that.
No, I have it here. So I see it written down. I'm like, my bad, guys.
Wherever she said 1900, it was definitely
It
1800.
was definitely 1800. But yeah, what a interesting, charismatic man.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Sketchy guy. Sketchy guy.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, how many times, or like if this is like you said that there's a lot of cases like this, like
There's a lot around.
documented, but like, imagine nowadays somebody like saying, "Oh, well, my daughter
Came back and told
visited me in a dream and told me this." There would be no possible way that would ever be admissible in any sort of trial
me that.
or court.
And
Like,
they said not to use this in court, and then it was used in court.
mhm.
And I heard an interesting way that it was described. It was like, yeah, they can tell you not to say something in court, but you can say it in front of the jury. And even though it can't be used in the court, the jury is still going to remember
still
that.
heard it.
They
Yeah.
still heard it. They're
It
going to
can
remember
be,
that.
yeah, it can be, what's it called?
Like omitted or whatever.
Yeah.
Where you're not
Um,
supposed to use it, but like the jury still heard it.
They still heard it. And
So
it's
they
still
still
going to
know.
influence them.
Yeah. That's where they
Yeah.
were like, even if they say not to and it's not going to be used in court, still say all of it.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, it would not be. I don't know. You'd have to find the right audience for sure. There's, I
Mhm.
feel like there's enough people who like believe in all of these things, but
But even like for her, in her case, like they weren't going to use it for the like prosecution.
Yeah.
The defense tried to use it against her to make her look crazy, and it did not work out for them.
no, yeah,
You know? So like that could still be, I mean, technically I feel like a defense nowadays would still try to do that, to say, oh, well, listen to how insane this person is. And that could either, you know, go for or against them.
yeah. I think it also was mentioned that like her strict religious whatever, like she was like, why would I make this up? I'm so religious. Why would I make this up?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't add up for me to tell you that a ghost came and saw me when I am the most like religious person in this town.
Yeah.
And it worked for her. And that's one of the reasons they also were like, she's not insane. She's extremely religious. Like she's telling the truth right now.
Yeah. Why would she lie?
And they tried to make it seem like it was a dream. And that's where she was like, no, I was awake.
Yeah.
I was awake through all of it.
Huh.
But yeah, today it would be definitely a different experience trying to explain that.
Yeah. Because
the
I also
court.
feel like it's like the amount of ways that we can, like the technology and the amount of ways that we can get evidence and like the things that we can do and blah, 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 blah is so much more advanced, obviously, than it was back then. They didn't have all of that, like, you know, crime scene investigation type stuff. So it was like minimal on evidence. Like everything had to be
Straightforward. basically.
straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah. Like even like the autopsy or even where he was going to examine her originally, like the doctor, Edward would not have been allowed in the room.
No.
Or maybe to hold her hand. But like if he was in the way, the autopsy person would be like, get out of my way.
Yeah. As he should have done to begin with. But
Yeah. There's a lot of people who are like, why didn't Dr. Knapp do that? Like, why didn't he tell him to move?
Mm.
But Dr. Knapp was like, everyone grieves differently.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't want to take
Sure.
from his sorrow. And that's what I think they had asked Dr. Knapp too. Like, why'd you change it to child whatever? Like,
Yeah. Why'd you just lie?
yeah, what's that
You
about?
had no idea.
And he was like, I just was doing what potentially could have been part of, like, what could have potentially been like an answer. Like, he was like, I shouldn't have.
I just guessed.
Well, he even admitted, he was like, I shouldn't have, but I couldn't get around him. But he's like, he basically is like, I should have done this or this, but I could not get around how he was working
Yeah.
and how he was like basically laying over her body, like, don't touch my wife.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
But
Bummer.
that's all I've got. Got anything else?
I do.
Okay.
I liked it though.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I want to do, there's one called Teresita Bassa, and I'll do her one day too, because she was more of in the 1900s, and she possessed a coworker.
Ooh.
And the coworker started because Teresita Bassa was Filipino,
Mhm.
and her coworker started speaking Tara Bassa's language, and like to her husband in the middle of the night, and her husband was like, "What the fuck? Like, you're English. You
Yeah.
speak English."
Wow. That's
So,
interesting.
I will cover that one day too. That one's a very interesting one, but I wanted to be able to dive in deeper into that one.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot more that goes on that one.
Sure.
But yeah, that's all we have. If you would like to go over to join our Discord, it's completely free. We just chit chat in there. It's fun. So go join our Discord. You can find it in the links on our social media pages. We have like a link tree set up to where you should be able to find all of our Facebooks, our Instagram, our TikTok, our YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the good things. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and we will see you on Friday. Also, if you want to send a story.
Also, listener stories. Send it to our email, sistersofthestrange@gmail.com.
Yeah, I forgot that. But we will see you on Friday.
Bye.